Something I'm noticing increasingly in the world today is how we are addicted to instant gratification. We want pictures without any work. When you look on Facebook and social media, you may notice there's all these ads coming on for programs that will take your crappy landscape picture and turn it into something astonishing. Well, how much gratification is there in that? Because you haven't done it and somebody else has done it for you. A bunch of programmers somewhere else did it for you. There's people who want to take stunning images. They buy the most expensive camera, excuse me, and then go for a walk with the dog in the park on a drizzly day somewhere in the UK in the autumn and expect a breathtaking picture. Well, no, you need to put a bit more work and effort into it than that. You need to go somewhere where the cool stuff's happening. But you also have to know your camera. You have to know what it is that you're doing, what it is that you want. So, how do you learn photography? Well, that is also part of this journey, because camera manufacturers will tell you that if you buy their camera with this doodad gadget or whiz-bang thing, then you're going to be brilliant at photography. Well, it's not true. There's only about 5 controls on a camera you actually need to know how to use, and they're covered in my beginner's course, for goodness sake. They're really not that advanced. And all the camera's doing is juggling those around. It's about how much effort you put in. So how did I learn photography? It's a question I get quite a lot. Well, I was into photography as a hobby. I wasn't particularly good at it, but then I had a life-changing conversation with somebody that led me to think, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take this on. So basically I spent a year, I was unemployed, so I was on income support. I told the employment services what I was doing, so I didn't want to get any trouble. I said I want to retrain, and they said, in those days they were very helpful. They said, yeah, no worries. So I spent a year just reading books and practicing. I got myself an unpaid job carrying the bags for a professional photographer because I just wanted to be in that environment, you know. I just wanted to see what it was like. When I did get a little bit of money for the occasional job, I went and told employment services because I didn't want to get into any trouble, and they were completely brilliant as long as you declared it. Now, an interesting thing I find in this is confidence, because for many, many, many years actually after I got going, I really had trouble saying I'm a photographer, of just standing tall and going, you know, when someone said, what do you do for a living? I'm a photographer. I would get really rather hung up and say things like, oh, I don't know, I take a few pictures and stuff like that, and kind of squirmed a bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's because that goal, that dream was possibly a little bit too big for me initially. The thing is, you mustn't be scared of your goal or your dream. I had spent, what, 6 months photographing weddings with my then mentor, Billy Passotti at Park Photographics in Southampton, who is just the loveliest guy, and he was sort of my surrogate father. Sadly, he died some years ago. But we were having loads of fun, and I used to photograph weddings with Billy, but I didn't have to take the responsibility. I was really confident, we were shooting great pictures, I'd learnt loads, but then I had that first wedding on my own where I did have to take responsibility, and trust me, it's one of the scariest things I've ever done. The sweat was just running down my back, you know. I just thought, what if I stuff this up? This is a milestone event in somebody's life. This isn't just me taking pretty pictures. This is big stuff. This is grown up. This is important. It's interesting how we move on from that by stretching ourselves, by putting in some work, by putting in some effort, and not looking for instant gratification. You can then move forward and you can kind of go beyond that fear part. You've probably seen me in various videos over the years with my screensaver on. I get a lot of questions about it, and all those pictures going back and forth. And you know what? This is the honest truth. Sometimes I lean in the doorway of the office and I stand and I stare at that screensaver, and I think back to that first wedding and that sweat running down the back of my neck, and I think, wow, what a journey. That's what I would say is gratification. You mustn't be lazy. You've got to have that feeling of, wow, what a journey. To actually stop for a moment and look at yourself and think, you know what, I have grown a lot. You've got to put in the work. You've got to give up the instant gratification. So how do you do that? Well, personally, I am always looking for inspiration. I seek it out. YouTube is a wonderful place for inspiration. It is packed with the most inspirational people, from people, you know, like climbing mountains, but they haven't got any legs, to I don't know what, I can't think of any. Tony Robbins is a go-to guy for me. I just love listening to him speak and listening to him tackle things and the way he thinks, because remember, everything in the world begins with a thought. Up in here, the very fact you're watching this video is because at some point in time somebody had a thought. They thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could watch videos online? If somebody hadn't had that thought, we wouldn't have the internet. You wouldn't be watching this video. Seek out inspiration. A current favourite of mine right now, right at the moment, is Elon Musk. I mean, for goodness sake, you imagine it. He stood there saying, I'm going to create reusable rockets and we're going to fly to Mars. And to begin with, people are going to go, yeah, righto, mate, you know, and they're going to walk off out the other way. And now he's created reusable rockets and a whole bunch of other stuff. How does that man think, you know? I love watching Elon Musk at the moment and listening to him, because it's a lesson for me and it inspires me to try and be better, to try and go a bit further, to have a purpose and a goal. It's important. Set yourself a goal, because I don't know what that goal might be for you. It could just be to, I don't know, maybe you want to win the camera club competition. Maybe you want to see your work published in a magazine. I don't know what it is, but set yourself a goal, because it will help you define your purpose. And to reach your goal, I recommend you ask yourself some very powerful questions. Don't ask other people. Don't go to your friends, don't go to your family, don't go to other people saying, you know, what do you think I should do? How am I going to do this? Is this the best idea? Should I do something different? Ask yourself, because only you know what it is that you love. And the only way you're going to discover how to find it is to ask yourself powerful questions. Do I really want to do this? That's a good one. If the answer is yes, it's like, okay, how do I do it? Don't go straight away into all the reasons you can't. So let's say you're thinking, you know what, I want to go hiking in Nepal and I want to photograph the Himalayas. And then instantly there's a million reasons why you can't do it. Immediately you just go off into, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say you, we, human beings, go off into a tailspin about, oh yeah, but it's expensive and I can't get the time off work and it's probably dangerous and somebody might kill me because it's a different culture, whatever that story may be for each of us as individuals. But the thing is, ignore those little voices and just go, I want to go and do it. So go and do it. Because you know what? Very often when you go to climb the mountain, you find that the mountain is far less scary than your imagination ever made it to be. So what is it that you love? And why? And where can you find that? Now, I know that I'm being very life coachy here, but this really is about anything in life. But we're talking about photographers here. And trust me, camera settings are just a tiny, eeny little step to that purpose, to what you want to do. It's no point knowing exactly how your, I don't know, hyperfocal distance works or your camera operates in multi-point autofocus megazillion mode or something if you're just standing in a car park in the rain. You've got to put the effort in to make something happen, to go somewhere that inspires you. Nepal might do nothing for you. Your idea of heaven might be just sitting in the corner in the local zoo, watching what the monkeys are doing and waiting for those great little moments. There's a lady called Pauline who came on my beginner's workshop some years ago, and if you're watching this, Pauline, I know you're squirming, but Pauline came on my one-day beginners workshop some time ago. She's never done any of my downloadable courses, but what she has done is she has worked and worked and worked and worked. She, amongst other things, works as a shepherdess because she loves it. And she has become a master of what she photographs. If I say to you sheep pictures, that just sounds like, yeah, really? Pictures of sheep? Yawn. Well, just, you know, look at her. Pauline is amazing. Her photography is brilliant. She has invested the time. She's gone to the place where there's things that she finds fascinating and she loves. She's learnt how to photograph it, what the light's doing, where it's coming from, the optimum moment to press the shutter. So it's important that you understand why you love what you do as well. So I know this could be taken as just being a job, but I mean, you know, why do you love what you do? And I'm talking photography here. Why is it that you love it? What is it about it that excites you? What is it that lights your light? I was a general photographer, professional photographer for many, many years, and I still do the occasional commercial shoot. I'm lucky enough now that criteria are that it's going to be interesting, it's going to be enjoyable, and I'm going to like doing it. Otherwise, I'm not going to touch it. I don't care how much money you throw at me, I'm not going to touch it unless it's going to fulfill those three. But what I've learned now is that I love playing a part in eureka moments. It's now the teaching of the photography, it's the sharing of my knowledge and the experiences that I've had that actually lights my light. I'm incredibly lucky in that. I had an interview with 500px, and Dale Cade, who interviewed me, said that many photographers have become trainers because they've had to, because the photography industry as a whole is constricted. But he called me an educator by choice, and I think that's true, because I did look at teaching because I was getting bored with the photography. It wasn't a case of I wanted to do that. Okay, so what has this got to do with your photography? Well, where do you want to go with it? What is your purpose? What is your goal? Ask yourself those questions and look for the answers within you, not in other people, not in other things, and don't start looking at all the reasons why you can't achieve those things. And it's not about your camera kit, or let me say this, it's very rarely about your camera kit. Very often, any old camera will do. A camera is a camera is a camera is a camera. Every week I'm asked many times, shall I buy this camera or that camera? Or I've got an 18 to 55, so do I need an 18 to 200mm lens? And is that lens better? Generally speaking, it makes no difference. They don't make crap cameras anymore because social media has done away with that. If a company make a totally rubbish camera and everybody in the world's going, that thing's rubbish, it's going to disappear, it's going to go out of business very quickly, it's going to get recalled, so it ain't going to happen. Just know what it is that excites you. And take steps towards reaching it, and stop worrying about the camera so much. Don't be lazy. Whatever advertisers say, instant results have no lasting gratification. If you do put your images into some piece of software that takes a really badly shot in bad light image and it turns it into something amazing, okay, you've got very short-lived gratification. You might be able to say, this is my photo, but in your heart, inside, you know that's not your photo. That's a picture that was average to okay, and you've got a piece of software somewhere to turn it into something. It's not your work. That's not true gratification, is it? So be careful of instant gratification, and don't be afraid to put in the work, because here's the thing, instant gratification, it just blows away like a fart in the wind, trust me. I'm sorry guys, you are responsible, so you are the ones who have to take action and choose what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to achieve. And very importantly, choose something where you're going to enjoy the journey. Now, I'm not saying there won't be setbacks along the way. I'm not saying that everything's going to be hunky-dory and perfect. There will be setbacks, there will be problems, there will be issues. But you know what? It's those problems and issues and setbacks that you overcome by doing whatever it takes, by reading books, by looking at magazines, by watching YouTube videos, by buying a workshop, buying a course. They're all overcomable. It's just up to you to take responsibility to do it. And by doing it, that is what's going to give you the fulfillment. That is what's going to have you be able to lean in the door of your office and look at the screensaver on your computer and just take a moment and go, wow, what a journey I've been on.